thing that separates legendary filmmakers from the average ones is authenticity. From Scorsese to Argento, the legends have a beautiful ability to give you movies that seem unique to themselves and no one else. I don't think there's any other writer or director that statement fits more than Quentin Tarantino. His movies have a look and a feel that scream nothing else but Tarantino, so it's an honor to discuss the only true horror film he has created, From Dusk Until Dawn. While Quentin was only the writer for Dusk, directed by Robert Rodriguez, this flick is without a doubt a part of the Tarantino universe. There's a scene where George Clooney and Quentin's character eat a Big Kahuna burger, just like Sam Jackson's in Pulp Fiction. Riveting dialogue, stylized violence, superstar cast, non-linear plot, and lots of feet. The man might as well have put a signature on the movie in the bottom right corner, just like a painter would. The vampires created in Dusk were done by K&B Special Effects. They're one of a kind, and I absolutely love the way they brought their bloodsuckers to life on screen. A lot of characters, a lot of kills. Lots to unpack for this episode. So let's find out about a movie that used Cheech Marin for 3 different characters and how it grossed over $59 million at the box office. Gonna take you hostage for about an hour as we give you our take on From Dusk Till Dawn. Boom! Welcome to the Sloppy Horror Podcast. I am your host and your scary movie companion, Christian Ramey, and back for another week, clapping them cheeks, dripping sweat on your chest, the best producer in the whole wide world, Mr. Ozark Mark. Mark, what's happening? I don't know if we can get a monitor turn up just a bit in my headphones.
Yo, turn my headphones up.
Yeah.
Turn my headphones up.
Yo.
How's that?
That's perfect, actually.
Rappers always say that shit. Yo, turn my headphones up. Like they can't hear anything. What's up, everybody? It's your boy, OZ. You know me, kicking it right here with the Christian Ramey on the Sloppy Horror Podcast. Once again, 1, 2, 3 in the place to be and all that good stuff. We're here to talk about another fantastic horror movie. It is the last week of September, is it not?
Let's see. Today is the 23rd.
Right.
So yeah.
But I'm saying as far as episodes.
Oh yes, absolutely.
This is the last episode of September. So this is the last 1, 2, what it do until we get into the spooky pit of Halloween season, which is October.
I'll wake
Best
you up
month
when
of the
it
year.
ends.
Yeah. Best month of the year, in my opinion. So, we got to pick a good one here. So, Mr. Christian Ramey, why don't you do us the honor and unveil us what the hell it is we're talking about here today?
Ozark Mark, we are talking about this great action-packed horror movie that we love called From Dusk Till Dawn. This movie was directed by Robert Rodriguez, written by Quentin Tarantino, also starring Quentin Tarantino. This was George Clooney's first film. We have Juliette Lewis, we have Harvey Keitel, we have Tom Savini as a character. Okay, there's all kinds of stuff going on in this movie, Mark. All kinds of people. Like, I don't even know where to start, dude. It's that good of a movie.
It's a great movie. Fantastic movie. It's almost 2 different movies.
Dude, it is. It feels like it is 2 different movies. That's exactly correct. Like, honestly, I think it's an hour before we get a vampire in this fucking movie.
If you were to just give this movie to someone and tell them it's a horror movie, if they know nothing about it,
yes,
an hour through, they'd be like, I thought this was a horror movie.
Honestly, the first hour of the movie is so gripping. It's like an action movie. We have a kidnapping. There's all kinds of things going on here. So, first off, let's give the synopsis, Ozark Mark. Can we do that?
The synopsis?
Yes.
Okay.
Even though this is 2 different movies, I will try to lie this down the best that we can. This is written by Tarantino, so in Tarantino fashion, if you're familiar with how movies work, you got like first, second, and third act. And Tarantino's notorious for usually taking those and flopping them. So like True Romance, he does that. Like a lot of his movies, that's why they feel jumpy. Obviously, Pulp Fiction,
Pulp Fiction's a prime example of that.
Absolutely, man. It starts you in a weird place, ends you in a weird place, but at the end, you get everything because you've seen everybody's story. Yeah. Like, you kind of don't know what's going on at the beginning, and then in the second act, the characters don't know what's going on, and then at the third act, nobody knows what's going on but you. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you watch the shit unveil. Yeah. And it's really neat to watch that. So, what we have are two separate groups of people. We have George Clooney and Quentin Tarantino. They're brothers. They're the Gecko brothers. Seth and Richard. Right, Richard?
Yes.
Is that the guy's name? Yeah, it's Richard.
Seth is George Clooney. Richard is
Quentin Tarantino.
Tarantino.
I don't know why Richard was a. I don't know why that didn't feel right.
Richard.
Exactly. So these two guys, they're not good people. Seth is more of a robber, like a thief, high-profile thief. But Quentin Tarantino is fucking nuts, dude. He's like psychotic. He's a sexual like offender, predator, whatever. And it starts off like these guys are taking hostages. They take a girl to like a hotel room, keep her hostage there. Mm-hmm. George Clooney leaves, comes back. Quentin Tarantino like fucking raped her and killed her. Like, not good. It didn't show you that, but it showed you her body. Like, you know?
Yeah.
So these people are crazy. They're running from the law, and they're looking for a way to get to Mexico. They have connections in Mexico, so these Gecko brothers, they're running through anything they can to get there. Well, they find this family, and in this family is the Fuller family, I think is their last name. It's Harvey Keitel, Juliette Lewis, I forget the other dude's name, but the Scott.
Ernest Liu.
Oh, yeah. Well, all these guys are together in this RV. They're a little family. There's no mom. The mom's dead, so the dad's kind of rigid. He's like it reminds me a lot of the movie Signs, how Mel Gibson was a pastor or like a preacher, whatever the fuck you call it, until his wife died. Well, it's a similar situation here. Well, the Gecko brothers get wind that this little innocent family is over here, and they break in their hotel room, and they hold them up at gunpoint, and they say, hey, we're fucking taking you and your RV. You're going to drive us to Mexico, and if you do this, we'll let you live. And if you don't, if you try to run away, we're going to fucking kill you. So the dad, like, was a little feisty at first, but he realized there's no way out, man. So he's like, all right, I'm going to do my bit, but please keep your fucking word. How do I know I'm going to keep your word? You know, kind of thing. So he trusts them the best he can. He takes them to Mexico, and he says, where are we going? Gecko brothers want to go to a bar where they're going to meet their connection. The bar is called the Titty Twister. They get there. It's like a live nude bar. Like, there's dancers. It's like a wild, crazy, it's a cool fucking bar. We'll get more into that later. Well, after they get there, they get in some fights with some people, and then all of a sudden, these patrons and people at the bar start turning into fucking vampires, like crazy vampires, like these like rat, bat, fucking creature vampires, and they start wrecking through everything. This family gets trapped in here with these brothers, and they end up becoming friends because it's them, like, they have to fight together, so to speak, to get out and kill all these fucking vampires. It's a crazy story. But all this vampire shit doesn't happen till an hour in. So the first hour is like people breaking into a hotel room. There's like fighting. There's very tense. Very tense. There's some pretty climatic moments in there where you're like, holy fuck, man. And there's no horror in it yet. It's just a Tarantino movie for that first hour.
Yes.
And look here, man. Not only do we have these great actors, but Tom Savini, he's in this movie. And the makeup in this movie. Did you like the makeup, Mark?
Of course I like the makeup in this movie.
Yes.
I think the makeup is one of the best parts of the movie, especially with the vampires.
Oh, man.
Nuts.
Dude. The crazy part about this is, I'm going to give you a little rundown on this. Ozark, Mark.
Okay.
So not only was Tom Savini working on the makeup, his little K&G group, the people that make, it's like Greg Nicotero and all these guys that work for Walking Dead. So this whole little makeup, this was a pitch for their makeup group to get them more work. And it really worked because the vampires looked great. But these guys, Tom Savini worked with George A. Romero back he was going to work on Night of the Living Dead, but then he went to Vietnam. Remember, we discussed he went to Nam, and that's why he's so good with the makeup, because he was like a medic or whatever. So he comes back. He's like, hey, I'll help you for Dawn of the Dead. Helps out Romero, relationships was there. George was like, yeah, when you come back, I got you on work. So they started making shit. Well, we had this little apprentice called Greg Nicotero, Tom's apprentice. Same kind of thing. Greg didn't know he was going to do it full time. Thought he was going to be a fucking doctor. Well, shit just kept going, and they started making these fucking movies, and that led on. And this movie was kind of the movie that kick-started them to get a lot more fucking work. And I mean, obviously they got The Walking Dead, and they're the fucking shit, dude. You should really look into that little Pittsburgh story. It's pretty fucking sweet. So, and they're still active now. They make stuff. I think it's K&G or K&B. I'm trying to fucking look at that because it's gonna bother me. It's gonna bother me, Ozark Mark. But we'll figure that out.
We always do, man. We always do. Figure it out. I love the goddamn car that they're driving.
Dude, the car is
first thing I
like
know. It's a 1968 Mercury Cougar. I think it's a XR something. I looked it up just because I was curious of what it was. It's a 1968 Mercury Cougar XR7. And it's one of those cars, man, that I don't know if you're a car person or not if you're listening, but that's a car that I would leave dusty, old, and dirty. It looks better that way.
Oh, yeah, dude. It gave the whole fucking aesthetic of like, all right, these guys are on the fucking run. Mm-hmm. I loved it, man. Those guys were fucking great. So not only did they look kind of cool, they remind me of like The Witches. Did you ever see that movie in the, like, I think it was 90s, maybe late 80s, called The fucking Witches?
No.
K&B, that's the fucking name. K&B. I was right from the get-go. I don't know why I second-guess myself sometimes. But K&B just sounded weird. It was reminded me of the fucking, like the Russian fucking, what was that group called? Their old spy group. That's what I was getting it mixed up with. But anyways, those guys are great makeup guys. They've done incredible work. They made these creepy-looking fucking things. What are you doing, Mark? What are you doing down
I'm
there?
white balancing the camera, man, because I turned green.
Oh, you turned green.
I mean, you know, you probably won't see it because I fixed it because that's what I do. But I turned green visually on the camera.
Do I ever turn green?
I don't know. I can't see your camera right now.
Oh, okay. Well, here, Mark. Let me lay it down to you like this.
You just laid down. You laying down all kinds of things. Lay it down again. I can't go any laid downer.
I got a lot of knowledge up here. I'm teaching you about this. So,
okay.
Not only
preach on, brother.
So we got all this great makeup looking effect. There's a lot of deaths in this movie. I mean, I'm not just gonna. Obviously, we'll get more into that into the rating when we rate the kills. But there's a whole fucking platter of kills here, dude. Like I don't even know the number. I didn't even count. Like you can't count in this movie. There's just a lot of fucking carnage, but not in a way. It's brutal and it's awesome, and some of it's really gnarly. But like some of it's like, I don't want to say it's comical, but it's like comic-y. So it's, I don't know, it's cool, man. Like it's really cool.
There's a comedic element to this movie once the vampires come out. For sure. Well, it starts out with what's his name? The Mexican actor guy. What's his name again? From Cheech and Chong. Cheech something.
Yeah, it was Cheech Marin.
Cheech Marin.
Yeah, he has 3 different characters in this
movie. He does,
movie.
man. I mean, even just his first character, the one that's the announcer for the club. Hey, come on, we got all kinds of pussy.
We don't have it. You don't want it.
We don't want it. We got white pussy, black pussy, brown pussy, dog pussy. We got big pussy. We got small pussy.
We got stinky pussy.
We got clean pussy.
Yeah, he's great in that movie, man. And then I like how he came back and he was the dude at the end that he was meeting with. That was kind of cool.
Yeah, that late interaction was that's another comedic. Just their conversation is funny.
We can't skip by the very Tarantino intro of this movie, though, where they robbed the gas station, the Gecko Brothers. Mm-hmm. That was one of the funniest fucking exchanges ever. That made me just laugh so much. The gas station guy, the clerk. Yeah. And, you know, even though they killed that fucking Texas Ranger guy, they brought that character back. Like, that actor with that same character back in a few different things, like Kill Bill. I forget the other movie, but Tarantino's really crazy at that, man. He incorporates a lot of things into his movies, like the burgers they're eating in this movie, or it's the Big Kahuna burger, like in Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
They tie shit in like that all the time. I forget his name brand of cigarettes, but... He has a name brand of cigarettes. Fuck, that's gonna drive me crazy. I think it has something to do with the fruit. Anyways, did you ever see that movie Romeo and Michelle's High School Reunion? Came out in the 90s.
No.
All right. Well, it was a decently popular movie, but there was a pin-up for those cigarettes behind in one of these movies, and it's not a Tarantino movie, so there's like crazy little Easter eggs in all these movies from his world. So like everybody exists in it.
That's awesome. That makes one of what Tarantino's movies are so enjoyable, I think, and you don't even realize it.
And a lot of people don't fucking like him. I don't want to say a lot, but like there are some haters of him. But dude's all the way legit. He loves movies. He knows movies. He loves them. And bro, he's not a bitch. Like, have you ever seen that fucking video of him leaving Starbucks, messing with the paparazzi were like recording him? Bro, it's one of the funniest things ever because he's like, what's going on here? What are you doing? What are you doing? And like he like flinches that, and he's all awkward looking. I mean, God bless the guy, but I mean, he does have like the head of like a Greek statue. You know, he does have like a Greek god head. You know, there's a lot going on in there.
Yeah,
But he's my dog, dude. He fucking tried to fight somebody at Starbucks. He likes feet. People know he likes feet. And then he got to suck on Salma Hayek's toes in this. So it's like,
good for him.
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm not a foot guy per se, but like, yeah, good for you, man. You got suck on. I would suck on her toes. Ain't no doubt about it.
Yeah, probably I'd suck on her toes.
I don't know. Is it like post-gym? Because like after you kind of live with a girl, like a lot of things lose the allure. You're like, oh, your feet fucking stank.
No, it's got to be fresh out.
Oh, like out the shower, like right
fresh out the shower. Take a hairdryer to it with some Lysol spray over it, you know.
Yeah, because I mean, these are feet, dog. I mean, our feet do be stinking. Dude. Like, everything stinks. You know what I mean? It's like it gets to a point where you're like, okay, all right, your toes, though? What'd you do today? You went for a walk? I'm out. Gonna be out of a bubble bath. There's a lot of fungus in there, Mark. You're gonna get that up in your teeth. You know. That might have been a long day of shooting for Salma Hayek. She had a snake on her. You got a snake on you. I don't know what kind of fucking... You get some kind of disease. I don't think you're supposed to be looking after animals and stuff. I'm just saying, Mark. I'm trying to make Mark laugh because he's got some kind of chest cold. So, like, I think one good one's going to kill him. He's going to be out.
Fuck you. Oh, fuck.
I've done it, boys and girls. I've killed Ozark Mark.
I hate you so much. Why? You know that. Why would you do that? Fuck. It's the phlegm, dude. All right. There's that phlegm that's like stuck like right here in your chest and it won't go.
You got to get that Mucinex. Got to get you a good expectorant.
Dude, I'm not stupid. I've been taking shit. It doesn't go away.
He doesn't take any advice. He's like Clint Eastwood.
Stop it. You're not fucking funny. Fuck you. God, I'm lame, dude. You can't make me... Have you ever coughed when you've been sick and a mucus ball just flies out when you've been coughing?
It has been.
You better be careful because that's going to happen. There's going to be a huge loogie going right across this table into your face.
I'll be very dramatic about that if that happens. Now, here's what's going to happen, Ozark Mark. There is really a lot to break down in this flick. And before we get into like our segments and things of that nature, we've laid down Tarantino's a great writer, does great with dialogue. We've also laid down that it's two different kind of flicks. So what I want you to do, to the best of your knowledge, talk about maybe your favorite part, not from the whole movie, but just from like the first half. Like, what were your vibes from that? Because it was pretty intense, man. They drove him into Mexico. That was a pretty intense scene. There was a lot of, like, I'm not gonna lie, man. Every time this isn't a movie I throw in my watch all the time, and I really do like it. but there aren't a lot of. Sometimes you have those comfort movies like Ozark, Mark. Every time you put on Space Jam, or you like eating your popcorn in there. No, you're not. Like, I mean, sometimes you might be getting a blowjob, or you might be texting me, but you got Space Jam on, or like, oh fuck yeah, Terminator's on, or something. For some reason, with this movie, every time it comes on, I am like in there. Like, it's just one of those gripping fucking movies. Because people always say they want Tarantino to do a horror movie. And, like, this is the only one we kind of got, even though it was, like, in 2 parts.
Yeah.
Jesus. Even though we only had, like, 43-minute scary movie from him. That's pretty slick, man. I would take that. He should just give us one. He should give us one, dude, because you know how much money he would have behind it. You know how well he would do. Just this little sliver of what we got. And then he's cool with all those people like Greg Nicotero and like all, so that K&B, they would fucking do all the makeup effects. They would team up. Tom Savini, like he just has all these people in his like, you know, in his posse. Not maybe like his best friends, but they're just people that work together. And like all that shit in Django, that was the K&B people. Like that was all, they all worked together, man. That looks good. Did you remember that like final gunfight scene?
Yeah.
In Django? So give us a horror movie, dog. Like I'm totally cool with the overkill and the gore. But I know Quentin, he's going to hear this and he talks more than I do.
I think he'd be able to create a great story in a horror movie. Because that's one of the things that, unfortunately, always gets sacrificed when you make a horror movie. Horror movies really don't have the best stories all the time. Now, I'm not saying they don't, but in general. You know what I mean? That kind of takes away the qualifications of a horror movie. Unfortunately, story gets jotted down a lot because you have to focus on other things. You got to focus on your monster or whatever your villain is, all your makeup and stuff. You got to focus on kills and all that shit and pop scares and make sure people, you know.
Yep. Like a good plot's
you got
not
to get
necessary.
a cat in there to spook people. You know how it goes, but
that's like a good plot isn't necessary, but it doesn't fucking hurt, dude. It doesn't hurt. So if you have a good one that's unique, I agree, man.
He's great at dialogue and making the actors act with minimal CGI stuff. It's back to it's more like old how movies used to be, where you could just watch actors, and that's all you really needed. It's like theater almost on screen.
It's exactly what it is.
So, and I think if you bring that to a horror movie, I mean, you could make a killing.
Oh, he'd have top-of-the-line actors, dude. He would. I mean...
Yeah, but it would be entertaining as fuck because, you know, you'd be watching an actual movie and it's horror themed. Like, that would just grab...
Please, Quentin.
It's just something different. It'd be something different. And so, I think it'd be really good, but...
That first part, though, that first... we'll say act, because even if we were just going to break this down into 2 acts, the movie's 2 different acts. First act, what parts jumped out to you? From the opening, you got the robbing a fucking store, then we've got the hotel scenes, then the trip into Mexico. Well, let me put it this way, did you like the first or the second act better?
Oh. You know, you're classifying as the first act before they get to the bar, and the second act is when they're at the bar. Yeah,
so like if that was 2 different tapes, if this was like old school Titanic days where you had 2 different VHSs, you could pop in that second one right when a boat's going down.
Oh, anybody would pop in that.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I'd pop it in during probably the second act just because it's a lot more fun, fast paced, and it's just funny. My favorite part from the first part, I guess you could say, is just when they're about to go into Mexico and they're in the border and they're in the bathroom, and then, you know, Richard starts arguing with Seth.
Yes. Yeah.
He's like, I didn't call you that. She's like, no, that's what you meant. Just knocks him straight out.
Fucks him up.
He just straight plops to the ground.
Like, bro, that was a K-fuck-O.
Yeah,
like, he was like, bow.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, dude, that was great, man. I tell you, I don't know, man. Probably one of my favorite parts is to... Tell me this isn't a man thing, Ozark Mark. Tell me this isn't a fucking man thing. What do you do if you get cut really bad? So, All men. And the opening part, when there's that gun battle, and the gun battle when they're robbing the gas station, they run into trouble with the clerk, and Richard gets a hole shot through his fucking hand. He's all right. So Quentin Tarantino's character has a hole through his hand. He's like fucking, he's looking through it. Mm-hmm. I thought this was so funny because other people might not have picked this up. But what he does is he's in the driver's seat, and he starts wrapping it with duct tape, and then he pours liquor on it. I feel like every man in their head they might not do that. They might go to the hospital, but if you were on your own and you could not, that's every man's instinct. Even if you can, when you get cut and they're like, do you need stitches? And you're like, nah, tape it. Like, it runs in your head. I'm not saying you do it.
I've seen it done before. I've seen my dad literally almost cut half of his finger off almost. Like, it was a gash. Like, this probably needed stitches. And he puts duct tape on it. That's what he did.
Yeah, just put like a paper towel and just duct tape.
He's like, I ain't got health insurance. And it was duct tape on.
Just wrapping up his finger. I know, man. And it's like, I'm not saying I'm going to do that every time, but I have put tape, especially like when you're at work, like maybe like some electrical tape or something, just because it's like a fucking annoying little cut. And you're like, never mind.
Oh, yeah, you know.
Yeah,
for some reason you think, hey, this won't get infected if I put duct tape on it.
Yeah, not a big deal.
I've used it for like warts and stuff like that, duct tape. I mean, you know.
It's just what you got to do.
That's how you suffocate it.
Yeah, it's what you got to do.
Yeah.
Although Quentin Tarantino puts the liquor in his mouth and spits it on his wound, I don't think that's the way to do it, but it crosses my mind every time. Like, that's what some cowboy shit right there, like... That's just our instinct. We're just going to wrap it with duct tape and pour liquor on it. I think it's going to be all right. That's like the most manly shit. Yep. Even though it wasn't like, he wasn't flexing. It's not like he was like on a horse with his shirt off or some shit. It was just a casual, it was like a hard flex right there. Just like, like, just a field medic.
Yeah.
And then he gets stabbed in that same hand. So he has a stab wound through his bullet wound. Like, that has to hurt so bad. Dude.
Oh, no, man. Oh, painful just watching it. It really is. Especially putting duct tape on an open wound. Oh, God.
Yeah, that ain't good. That ain't good. That's a lot of meat to grow back. You could just, like, look through his hand. Like, that's a lot of body to grow. Like, you know what I mean?
What if you got a hole in your hand? You just fuck with people like, I see you, motherfucker.
Yeah, does that just grow back? Or I feel like you need some
like
grafts.
Well, it's probably like an ear piercing, isn't it?
I don't know.
No, that's cartilage, because I know ear piercing. No. Yeah. It's the same shit. It'll grow back eventually.
Bruh.
I think if you had a hole in your hand, it will grow back eventually.
That's another one of those tender places. Like, if somebody's fucking with fingernails or, like, your hands. Ow, fuck, dog, your hand. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I don't like it at all. That ain't good. That's your hand.
Knock it off.
Ozark has a good 3 days. So if you guys just donate to the Patreon to help out with this service, I will write a great eulogy. I'll make a song. He's in the Ozarks. That's what I'm gonna sing at your funeral, and people are gonna be. The Ozarks have him.
Quit it. Look, why don't you just tell me stuff that you fucking know, all right?
All right.
Whoopie dang dam do. Welcome to the What Do You Know here. This is the segment here where we're here to tell you something that you may or may not know about this movie here. So once again, let's go over the little spiel here. Okay, if you know what we know, you're about to find out what we know. But if you don't know what we know, you're about to find out what we know as well. And then those who know what we know are going to combine with the ones who did not know what we know. And then they're going to join together and have a wee no-gasm. And it's going to fucking splur everywhere. So, why don't you sit here and tell me something that I may or may not know about this movie? Here. From Dusk Till Dawn, 1996.
So the little boy.
Which one?
Well, he's not a little boy. It's the teenage boy.
Which one? Yeah.
The Chinese boy. Scott.
Right. Okay.
Okay? The Chinaman.
Yeah.
I won't
I
say
don't think you could say that these days.
I don't think I can either.
People are a little bit sensitive on, the Far East.
Yeah, well, Chinese are smart people, but this character.
They did build a really great wall.
They did. They did.
Yeah.
So here's what happened.
Okay.
Here's what happened.
Tell me, please.
This young man, he has a t-shirt on. Okay.
I hope so.
That'd be
really
not a
fucking weird.
Okay, but he has a t-shirt on.
Mm-hmm.
It says Precinct 13. Precinct 13. Does that stand out to you at all? So one of the best horror movie directors in the whole goddamn world, he's still alive. His name's John Carpenter. Okay, he's still alive.
He's still alive?
Yeah, he's still out there.
How old is that man?
He's pretty old. He's pretty old.
Okay.
He's an old man, but he's made some great flicks, some great movies. Holy shit, it's John Carpenter. If not one of them, he may be the most influential. I don't know. I mean, that topic's up for the debate, but what I'm telling you here, he made the film called Assault on Precinct 13, like one of his first movies, okay? Not his first, but one of his first movies, okay? It was a popular movie to some degree, so that was a nice little nod to him. So there you go, Mr. Carpenter. You could take that, put that in your fucking pocket, whatever the fuck you want to do with it.
Holy shit, I did not know that. What a fact.
Whoa.
What a fucking fact. Here.
Wow, that's a big fact.
That's a really big fact.
No big deal.
That's like a supersized fact.
Yeah, no big deal.
No big deal here. That's great. I know something here.
Okay.
So, in this movie,
yeah.
They kill a bunch of vampires. And when they kill the vampires, they bleed. Like, most living things do.
Yeah.
You know what the color of blood is?
Oh, yeah, it's like the slime. It's green like slime. What is that stuff, man? It's slime.
Yeah, it's witch goo.
It's witch goo.
So it's green. They had to use green on the vampires to get an R rating. Because if they didn't, they were threatened to get rated with the NC-17.
Oh, if they use, like, actual blood for the vampires?
Yeah.
Okay, I get
actual red blood. They would probably get NC-17.
Oh, that makes sense.
So Tarantino or whoever, what is his name?
The green, yeah,
green. Rodriguez said, "Yo, let's make it green, and then we get it rated R."
Yeah,
and then,
green's not as scary.
No,
it's not as scary.
It's more comforting. It's like Nickelodeon back in the day. Get slimed.
Green ketchup.
Yeah.
You were old enough for that. I'm old enough for that. You remember?
Yeah.
They even had little purple ketchup.
Yeah, it's pretty disgusting.
Yeah, that's fucking weird. Eating ketchup
That is fucking weird. Did you ever throw down ketchup packets on the ground when you were at school and hoping somebody would step on it?
Ketchup packets?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You ever do that?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah, it's great. Okay.
We used to open them up when I used to work at the pizzeria. You know the one down the street. I worked down a pizzeria.
Right.
I can't say that, so you gotta edit their name out. So, what I would do, I went down there, okay. I was a young man. I would open up these ketchup packets just a little bit, just a few centimeters, and we'd slip them in people's fucking back pockets where they were working on the prep line or whatever they was doing, because they wouldn't notice. And if you were really asshole, you'd put it in their wallet pocket. And we would do that. We were so mean there. This was before, keys were smart with buttons and batteries. So we would freeze people's keys in ice buckets and things like that. So you'd go to leave and you'd have to chip away or melt away or whatever method you would use to get the, your keys out. But everybody's watching you do it and laughing at you. It wasn't a good deal.
It's a hard world out there.
It was. It was. It's not a big deal. It's not a big deal.
Is that all you know here?
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay.
I guess so.
Okay, I'm just making sure you didn't know any more facts about this movie here.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I'm just trying to, hey, listen, we got a job to do. We did. Shit.
Uh-oh. You need to get that checked out. I know a good doctor. You gotta get that all cleared out.
No, just put duct tape on it. It's fine.
Okay.
So there we go. That's the what do you know here.
Hey. Well, Mark, I feel informed. And now that I know about your opinions on the first segment of this movie, where there aren't vampires, where there aren't people sucking on your blood or your dick, that's not going on in the first part. But in the second half, there's no dick sucking, actually, I don't think. But in the second half, we have sexy Salma Hayek. She gets really not sexy really quick, along with all these other hot dancers. We have some crazy-looking vampires. They look like these weird little creatures. They turn into fucking bats. We have some awesome characters. Did you have a favorite character, by the way? I feel like... All right, you tell me who it is, and I'm going to tell you who I thought yours was.
Probably Sex Machine.
Yeah, little Tom Savini for that ass. There you go.
He was pretty fucking hilarious. I love how he just introduces himself when you first learn his name. They're just in the midst of a battle. He's like, "What's your name?" "Sex Machine. Nice to meet you."
Sex Machine. Yes. Like, it's like the most, like, sex machine, bro. Like, if you really think about it for a minute, it will make you laugh harder and harder. Just like, that's my name.
Yeah.
I am Sex Machine. Like, why do they call you that? Well...
Is that who you thought was going to be my favorite character?
I was gonna say Frost, the black dude, the non-veteran.
That's the second favorite for me. I love both those guys. He
Dude,
did his whole spiel of it. I like how he's trying to always stack things on a table, and the dancers just keep rocking the table and knocking him down. He gets pissed off.
Dude, he
just looks like a natural-born vampire slayer.
Bro, when he came back as a vampire, he was fucking scary.
He was scary.
He kind of looked like the Predator or something, dude. Like, he was, like, creepy looking. He kind of... You know who Tarantino kind of looked like to me? The way he looked like the Hammer Frankenstein a bit to me. And I know he's pissed because he didn't like the Hammer Frankenstein. Or the look of it, so to speak, in comparison. But he kind of looked like that, but he also looked like... You remember the movie The Mask with Jim Carrey?
Of course.
There's two different masks. That's why I clarified. But when the bad guy put on the mask, and he turned, like... I don't know, man. Quentin Tarantino kind of fucking looked like that to me. He had that, like, look at that second guy because he had the suit on and shit, and it was like, whoa.
Yeah.
It was really good looking, though. Like, they did it very well. They executed.
The vampires looked really cool. Looked very non-CGI-ish, like kind of realistic a little bit. Some of them looked a lot funny too, but the makeup was really, really done well.
So there's this beauty that we do discuss sometimes that happened in the 90s. This isn't the only time I'm going to reference Jurassic Park, but Jurassic Park was a cool time frame where there were special effects and then computer effects. So practical effects and computer effects tied in together. So it was makeup and computer fucking together. And they looked great. They looked great because there was this like realism to it, because now it's more CGI oriented and your brain can kind of know, wow, this isn't real. Whereas in the 90s, they had this kind of peak level. CGI wasn't at its best, so they couldn't just go full CGI. It wasn't able for them to do that. You know, like... It just didn't look as good at that juncture. So I thought this was kind of fell in that loop or like right in that perfect time frame of, all right, we have practical effects. I just think that the way that all incorporated together with the practical effects and the computer effects, I don't know. It's easy on the eyes, man. It just is kind of very cohesive.
It looks more natural.
It does.
You know?
It does. And also, the other Jurassic Park I want to reference, why the fuck was Harvey Keitel dressed up as fucking John Hammond from Jurassic Park? Like, bro, they had the same Colonel Sanders-ass outfit on. Like, what's going on?
Oh, man, he does now. I'm picturing it now.
I feel like the John Hammond ruined that outfit. Like, I'm sure that was a fun outfit for folks to wear. Like that certain old guy, but like after Jurassic Park thing done came out, like they just couldn't do it anymore. Like if you got a long white beard, you can't wear red sweatshirts and red sweaters in the winter as a grandpa and expect not to be called Santa. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like if you've got the beard and you're wearing a sweater and it's Christmas time, people are gonna say the shit to you. That's just the way it works, man. You go in knowing it. Those old guys laugh when little kids call him Santa. Yeah, you play it off. I hope I would if I was there.
Yep.
Works the same way around, dog.
Same thing.
Same thing.
Same thing.
I really did like that aspect of because I have mentioned before the preacher or the priest that they usually use in these fucking movies. They're always fall from their faith, or they're usually always scared or shaken. I like that Harvey Keitel comes back. I really did love that. What was he saying, Ozark? He said, because it gets to a point where, like, Quentin Tarantino dies. Like, everybody's pretty much dead, and it's just, like, Jacob and his kids, and then George Clooney's character. And he's like, yo, are you a fucking faithless preacher? Or are you a fucking mean motherfucking servant of God? Or is that how he said it?
Something like that.
Mean motherfucking servant of God. Yeah. And it was like, I don't know, he just bossed up real quick. He's like, I'm a mean
dude, there's a little cross contraption with the shotgun.
And the baseball bat? Yeah, dude, that was fucking sick.
It's a dope little combo there.
It was, man, because he did have he knew the preacher power, so he was able to make holy water. He was able to do the whole thing. It's pretty sweet.
It was pretty sweet, dude. I like, you know, bless, he's got like condoms, holy water condom bombs.
He does, dude. What's kind of fucked up, Ozark, and what's messed up in this movie is that, well, it's not messed up. It's what makes it so good, is that they have characters you don't think are going to die. And that always does well for TV series. It does well for everything because you don't expect it. The second Walking Dead started slowing up on that, I think that's what really hurt them. Obviously, they kind of are finishing strong and knew that, but I thought it was kind of too far too late. You lost a lot of most of the main cast. And the cool part about Jacob's character, Harvey Keitel, I mean, he gets bit. But he really fucking bosses up, dog. Like, he just goes out like a fucking G. Yeah. And I really appreciated that about his character. It's great acting. There's great acting between George Clooney and him. And what's really weird is to think that it's his movie debut, in the sense of he did like a couple low-budget, like, horror movies. But this is like his real big deal release to the world. His first, like, blockbuster-style movie. And he was in ER, the TV show, a few other things. He obviously had acted, but I don't know, man. He came with some pretty good intensity. He was crushing it. Those scenes between them. Like, he was like a perfect bad guy because, like, he convinced those people. Everybody knew his brother was crazy, but they kind of, like, trusted him. He gave this, like, weird, like, look, fuck you, but this is what you got to do to help me, or I'm going to kill you.
Yep.
But I don't know, you just trusted him.
He had that way about him.
It's George Clooney.
You can't not trust George Clooney.
Something about being born in Kentucky and living in Cincinnati. Just something about it, Mark. You know, my grandma actually, like, knew him, or knew his mama, too. She used to work at this, like, restaurant down on the river. It's, like, on this, like, I don't know.
Hooters?
No, not there. It's a place called Mike Fink's. It's not open anymore.
No.
But one time, he had come in there. And he was like, he wanted to clap my grandma's cheeks. No, he didn't want to do that. But he, like, gave her a hug in front of everybody. And she was all like, ooh. Mm-hmm. I guess at that point he had a little fame. My grandma, you know, it's Kentucky stuff, baby.
Your mama.
Yeah. My Meemaw.
Sup? Don't. It's time to give this movie a sloppy oral.
Oral?
Yes. The sloppy oral.
Sloppy oral.
The sloppy oral rating. Sloppy horror rating, baby, yeah!
Sloppy oral show. Horror show.
I'm gonna fucking cough all over your shit.
I know.
Sorry.
The Hoppy Slop Comcast.
Yeah. All right. Here we go here. This is time where we're going to rate this horror movie on the rating style of a horror movie, not just a movie in general. So keep that in mind when you're looking through the sloppy oral horror rating. Okay? Because Christian Ramey, what he's going to do is going to give you a little sloppy oral here about this movie in 3 categories. 3 categories are worth 3 points, but we have 1 bonus category worth 1 point, which is a total of
10 points altogether.
That's right, for the sloppy horror son of a bitch rating right here. I cannot talk today. I'm fucking it up everywhere.
We're cursing a lot today, Mark. He's coughing a lot. Excuse us, folks.
Excuse me.
Yeah, we're just, you know, it's one of those weeks. Mark's almost dead.
A little bit. So, here we go. Let's get into the first category here in the Sloppy Horror Podcast rating. That is casting. Let's talk about the actors and actresses.
I feel like I always give casting good ratings because I like casting, but I know that we pick great movies. But what's interesting to me, I guess I like movies that have good casting. I mean, everybody does, but this is a 3, man. This is a fucking 3 for sure.
How is it not? Let's go through who we got just off the top of your head.
Danny Trejo, Quentin Tarantino.
George Clooney, Quentin Tarantino, Salma Hayek, Tom Savini, Harvey Keitel, Juliette Lewis, Ernest Liu, John Hawkes, Fred Williamson, John Saxon, Danny Trejo, Michael Parks, just to name a few. What a dream team, superstar, Space Jam type of cast right there.
Yeah, no doubt, man. They just and they all play well together with great dialogue. Definitely a 3. Like, I can't even think that hard on it. It's just for sure 3.
Bingo. So that's 3 out of 10 so far here on the Sloppy Horror Podcast rating. Let's go into the second category here in the Sloppy Horror Podcast rating. That is kills.
Dude, there's a fucking plethora of kills. I can't even put a number on how many kills.
There's a goddamn Golden Corral of kills, sir.
Dude, they take the band. This vampire band is playing a guitar on like a body. It's like a torso.
I know. I like how it just flipped to that. Like, once they turned into vampires, his guitar turned into a body. I was like, what? So, all right.
Yeah, dude.
Got it. But
and maybe they were always like that. And maybe the vampires just have this trance about them where they can like make you think they look like Salma Hayek. You never know.
That's probably true.
You know?
Vampires are fucking weird like that.
Yeah.
There's one where he flips the table over and takes 4 vampires through each leg and stabs them.
Yeah, I like.
It's nuts.
I like at the towards the end when George Clooney, he had like this fucking jackhammer with like a big wood log on the end of it.
What the fuck was that?
But it like made noises like a chainsaw. Like I don't know.
It was strange, odd. It looked like some weird sex toy or something that he made.
It did.
You know what I mean?
It did. But it was fucking sweet.
Yeah, it was sweet.
It was sweet.
Mm-hmm.
I fucking loved that. They were just running through shit before they all died. When Frost was still alive and Sex Machine was still alive, when they were all throwing down, that was pretty intense because everybody started coming back as vampires and they just started staking people.
Mm-hmm.
But dude, there's so many like fucking funny moments, man. Because even when Juliette Lewis is trying to kill one for the first time, she like does it. Like, he comes back to life and she does it, and it's like intense. And Tom Savini looks over and she's just like, yeah, gives him like it's all good. Like, you can't help but laugh the whole time.
He had a dick gun.
I know. So,
So kills.
Kills. I have to give this a 3, man. There's
3.
just so many, and the K&B. That's legendary teamwork. Tom Savini. I can't give a Tom Savini anything but a 3.
It's half the movie is kills, man, pretty much. All right, so that's after 2 categories. That's 6 out of 10. Moving right along here to the third and final category here on the Sloppy Horror Podcast rating. That is fear.
It's going to be its weakest category because, to be quite truthful to you,
the movie's not scary at all.
No, like if you were, I'm trying to think of like, I mean, obviously I'm going to let you do your little category of parental rating, but I think, man, if you were like under or above the age of 7, man, there's no way that this would freak you out. So I'm going to give it a half a point just because there are frightening elements. But I would say the half a point almost goes for the first act because that's the part that's the most like on the edge of your seat actually, because that's some real life shit where people hold you up.
Yeah,
the vampires is like a fuck yeah.
Yeah. There's some disturbing parts in the first one that make you kind of be like, especially when he kills that
sweet lady.
And it flashes and all that. It does the quick jump cuts and flashes and stuff. It's an intense moment.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. So half a point there. So that's 6.5 out of 10. Let's go to the final bonus category to make it 10 possible points. Does Christian Ramey fuck with this movie?
I sure do, Ozark.
I sure does, man. Who would have thought that you, of all the people...
Yeah, I love this fucking movie, dude. It's a great movie. I'm going to quit saying the F word. I apologize. This week, I'm feeling spicy, guys. I'm feeling spicy.
You and your potty mouth. So that is 7 out of 10 total points from Dusk Till Dawn. Sloppy Horror rating approval. Stamp of approval right there.
That's pretty good
He just
rating.
gave you a nice little sloppy oral section there. So... fantastic. So that's a pretty good movie. It's a great movie. If you want to know where this movie is, it's on HBO Max or any other illegal streaming services that you could think of, probably.
Don't tell people that.
I didn't say nothing.
I didn't say nothing.
I say nothing.
You know what I was thinking, Mark?
What were you thinking, Mr. Christian Ramey?
Can you tell these fine folks, maybe not all people are familiar with this, are you familiar with the clothing brand FUBU?
Yes.
So, if you could break down this clothing, what's an acronym FUBU is? Can you break down what that acronym is?
For us, by us.
Yes. What a brilliant fucking name.
FUBU.
This movie is a FUBU horror movie. This movie is for horror fans. This is like bonus. Like, it's an intense thriller for the first half, and the payoff is just, we're going to give you everything.
Yeah.
We're just going to give you everything because it's made from, like, people from a horror perspective that love movies. Tarantino loves movies. Tom Savini, obviously, and the boys, they're throwing down. There was just a passion driven to make things look great, and I really think that this is a FUBU horror movie. If I could give that, like, a category... There are a few movies that break down that are just for the fans. I think like Return of the Living Dead, some people took that too seriously and they were like, oh, I don't like the way the zombies look. And you're like, no, that's a funny-ass movie. That movie's for us. Like, you can't, like...
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. I know what you're doing here.
So,
I see what you're doing. I hear what you're doing. You are correct. It's a FUBU movie.
So will you give us your parental rating, though? Like, if you're watching kids... what age do you think would be appropriate for these kids to watch this? And I'm talking dialogue and all, not just fear.
Right. You're going to have to wait to high school for this one.
Okay, yeah, I respect it.
You're going to have to wait to high school for this one.
I respect it.
There's a lot of more sexual references in this. A lot more gore. I mean, gore really ain't that, but I mean, the first half just alone, there's there's one scene where he goes, "I want you to eat my pussy." Oh, okay. Just out loud, and then the murder of the sweet lady, and their gore, and they talk about sexual harassment and all that stuff. So there's that. The vampire scene stuff, that's not really too worried about. But I think high school is appropriate. If you're talking appropriateness.
Mm-hmm.
So freshman year, you know, you got a little bit of hair on your balls. You got to put deodorant on. You probably had your first period or something months ago. So you're ready once you hit that.
Okay.
High school.
I can't wait till I get to high school. Don't you ever say that. Okay. Mark doesn't understand the Billy Madison reference. He's looking at me like I punched him. All right. That's great, though. I like that. That's a good little breakdown. Now, I feel like I've told you my favorite part, though, you know, with the duct taping of the hand. But there are a lot of great parts. I do like the interaction, the dialogue with the gas station clerk. And, like, when they break in there, he says, my brother says that you gave him a wink. And he said you gave him, like, a wink. And he's like, I didn't fucking wink. Like, the dude's freaking out, and you, like, believe him. Like, it's just a very funny interaction. And he says, he comes in here all the fucking time, and he goes to the bathroom. And if I didn't let him use the bathroom, he knew something was up. Like, he's whisper fighting, like, you know, like something about a passionate whisper fight for your life, like, is hilarious. You told me to play it cool, I'm playing it cool. But that was a pretty cool fight, though, man, because he tells his brother to shoot all the bottles ahead of him, and he lights that toilet paper roll, and he burns him up.
Yeah, and then he comes back and tries to shoot him while on fire.
Yeah, that's...
I didn't expect that, though. That's a little jump right there that you didn't expect.
Yeah, man, the first half might have the most intense, like, kind of like, whoa, jarring things.
Yeah.
But it's pretty cool.
I like the final interaction when they finally get out, when the third Cheech character shows up, the guy who he's supposed to meet. He's like, George Clooney just, why, of all places, would you pick here?
He just
I don't
punches
know,
him.
man. You know, it's kind of in the middle of nowhere. There are no cops. It's open from dusk till dawn. Like, this girl just lost her entire fucking family.
Yes.
He's like, what were they, weirdos or something? It's like, no, they were fucking vampires.
Yes.
I don't remember the whole thing, but it's great.
Yeah,
it's fucking great.
Yeah, man. A+ dialogue. Great story, fun watch. Definitely label it as a FUBU horror movie for the horror fans. Not saying you wouldn't like it if you're not a horror fan, but if you are already, this is a get your popcorn, and this is a good Friday night movie. Most people have seen it, but if there's the rare occasion where you haven't, I would highly recommend it, man. I would highly recommend it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I very much enjoyed this movie, and I will enjoy it again. It's easily rewatchable. Easily rewatchable.
It do be rewatchable.
Yeah. So, with just a few moments left here in the sloppy oral horror show, Christian Ramey, any words of wisdom?
Yes.
Comments, concerns?
Look, boys
that
and
you
girls,
need to talk to the children listening to this broadcast here.
This is the last episode of September. I'm sorry that Ozark doesn't feel well. I'm sorry I have a potty mouth today. This October is going to be the best October you've ever had in your life. It's going to be spicy. It's going to be fun. And Ozark and I are going to educate you on some bangers. Some bangers for that ass.
It's going to be legendary.
Dude, I've saved these movies for October. Like, these movies have been on mine since I've met you, Ozark Mark. Not met you, but since we started the podcast together. And we've gone through a couple seasons now, but now we are finally in October. Our first October together. These people aren't ready. I'm telling you, man. If you like some spooky flicks, and we threw in a good Halloween pick for you and the fam. For you and the fam. So you guys excited? I'm excited.
Oh, yeah.
All right, well, you guys make sure you check us out on all the platforms, see what we're doing. We're going to be out and about at these conventions. I'll be sure to be more transparent about that because we're going to have some booths at conventions coming up. So if you want, booths.
Booths.
Sometimes I just like to go out on foot patrol if it's a distance of a journey for, it's just too much of a pain in the ass for us to get stuff out right now. if it's hours and hours away. But if it's close, we'll have booths, and that's what we plan on doing. So we hope to see you guys out and about. We appreciate you for being here every week. Get ready. Next week, it's going to be Bananarama.
Bananarama, pajama damma.
Bananas and pajamas are coming down the stairs.
Bah. Yeah. Hot fire. Right there.
It was, man. You folks have a good week. We're out of here. Ozark's going to rest up.